Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, do opposites really attract? Is there really something to you can call it an urban legend, urban myth, maybe an old wives' tale, that opposites really attract? Well, personally, I think it's a bunch of crap, to be honest with you. Because what I've learned, obviously over studying this stuff close to 2 decades now of my life, improving the life of myself and the lives of my clients, my friends, and family over the years, I can tell you that relationships, long-term relationships that last because both people have similar goals and similar values. Now, what I've personally found is that when you're dating somebody, you could be totally head over heels in love with them and they can feel the same way about you. But if you have goals and values that are not aligned or are different or maybe even opposing directions at times, it's just not going to work. And I'll give you an example. I had a woman I dated many years ago. I wrote about her actually in my book. I love this girl. She's fucking, even to this day, I still think she's one of the most beautiful women in the whole world. She's that beautiful. She's that hot. She's that sexy. She's a lot of fun. She was a great, great gal. She had an amazing family, and I love all of them dearly, even to this day. However, as much fun as we had together and as much chemistry and as much fun as we had, it didn't work because I've always been a high achiever. But in her case, she always used to tell me I'm just a simple girl. I mean, she's just the type of girl that wants to have a small, simple house with a guy who's there and the white picket fence, and she just wants to get married and hang out with family and just have a real simple life. You know, she's the type of person also, it's like me being a high achiever, I always eventually achieve the things that I set out to do or that I say I'm going to do. But she was the type of person that was constantly, I'm going to start working out next week, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And she never would. And so she was famous for making all kinds of promises, and then her actions and her words never reflected that. Now, for me, somebody who's a type of person who sets a goal and he goes after it, and then you're dating somebody who's constantly making promises, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'll make you dinner next week, or I'm going to start working out, I'm going to start an exercise program, and then they never do it, or I'm going to change my job, I really hate my job, and they don't do anything about it. You know, that, me personally, that drove me absolutely bananas. And everybody in her family was the same way. They all had all kinds of dreams that they said they were going to go and pursue, but they never did anything about it. They were too scared to do anything about it. Now, I have a lot of people like this in my own family. And it doesn't mean I love them any less. It just means they are the way they are. But for me personally, to be in a relationship, I want somebody, like the women that I date now, I date women that are also high achievers. They're women that are successful. They don't fucking need a man for jack shit. They're already successful in their own life, and they're complete, and they're happy, and they're whole, and they're fulfilled. They have a great life, and they just simply want a guy who's also complete and happy and whole and has his own thing going on, and he just simply is looking for somebody to share his completeness with, just like she is. And that's the perfect type of thing to have in a relationship. But at the end of the day, if you're a high achiever and you're dating somebody who's not, you got 2 choices. You can either accept them and love them as they are, or you can end the relationship and seek to find somebody who's more like what you want. Because long term, it's just simply not going to work. Because what a lot of people try to do is they try to manipulate, force, cajole, prod their partner into becoming what they really want them to be, as opposed to just doing the work on themselves and becoming the type of person they want to attract. So they can go out and find somebody who has similar goals and values, as opposed to, because if you try to make the person you're with into what you want them to be or what they should be, eventually you're going to wear yourself out and you're going to get tired of it, and you're going to stop putting your best foot forward. And when you don't accept somebody or reality for what it is, we suffer. We want that person to be different than they really are, and we suffer. And so the best thing to do, unfortunately, sometimes it's a very painful thing to do, is you have to end the relationship and you have to move forward. And so I got an email here from a guy who's in a similar situation. He's broken up with his girlfriend that he dated for about a year for a similar reason. She's very lazy and complacent, and he's a very active person. It just drives him bananas to the point where it ruined it. He lost his attraction to her, similar to what happened to me and the girlfriend I just explained. So I'm going to read here what he says. He says, "Hey there, Corey. I was dating my girlfriend for almost a year, and we broke up about a month ago. We were fighting a lot, and one of the biggest reasons we stopped is because I wouldn't take the next step with her." Now, one thing I want to say is men who understand women, they don't fight or argue with them. And so what that tells me is, you may have read my book, but you need to read it again because you didn't. You need to focus on the communication aspects, because you should never fight or argue with a woman. Because guys do, they have absolutely no idea what's going on or why she continues to get more and more upset and more bitchy as they try to argue and resolve things through logic and reason. She's speaking one language and you're speaking another. That's why you're arguing, and you don't understand what she's trying to say or communicate to you, and vice versa for that matter. I made a big mistake by not... Oops, let me back up a little bit here. He says he would not take... In other words, I guess she wanted him to move in and he didn't. She wanted for us to get a place together, but unfortunately I'm financially not ready yet. I made a big mistake by not saving, and I believe I lost her trust. Now, it's good that you stood up for yourself, but one thing I want to say is that any guy who doesn't take care of his bills financially, or he's shitty with money, or he's always broke, women want the man to take control of the direction in the relationship. They just want to sit back, relax, and have a good time. Just like I've said in my articles, love is playful and fun. It's not serious. And girls, women, they just want to have fun. That's the most important thing. And if they're with a guy that's taking care of the bills, he runs the household, he does the things he says he's going to do, it allows her to just sit back, relax, and enjoy her femininity, and enjoy being a woman, and to just play in this world that this man has created, because he takes care of everything and he makes her feel safe and comfortable. But when you don't take care of things and you're broke as a joke all the time, you don't manage your money very well, it's going to make women feel unsafe and uncomfortable, and they'll become bitchy around you because of that. I'll put a link to that particular article in here as well. He says, I hate that I hurt her, but I was losing attraction for her because of her simple, complacent lifestyle. I'm a very active person, and she's not. I'm not saying that we have to have the same traits, but there were times I just couldn't relate to her. I mean, you can't force chemistry. You can't force yourself to love the things that your girl is into if they bore the hell out of you. And so you either have to find a way to love her the way she is, or you got to find somebody who you find interesting and you find fascinating. Just because you're physically, sexually attracted and fucking each other's brains out does not mean that that's all you need for a great long-term relationship. You got to be with somebody. When I've talked and interviewed couples that have been together for 50, 60 years, they have a fucking blast together, and you're around them, you think that they just met and fell in love yesterday. They really sincerely enjoy each other's company. They're fascinated by one another. They find each other's quirks and idiosyncrasies fascinating and interesting and different than their own. And in this particular case, your girl, it's like you want her to be different than she is, and just unfortunately, she's not. And so stop trying to change her. Either love her as she is, or go find somebody that is the way you want her to be. He says, I tried this past Valentine's Day weekend to see her, but she kept getting angry at me and telling me that I wasn't putting in enough effort. The reason she's getting angry is because you're not acknowledging the pain that you've caused her, or how you basically have not communicated to her that A, you understand how you hurt her, and B, you don't understand why you've hurt her, and you also have not been able to communicate to her that you understand either of those two, and that you're not going to do it again in the future. That's why she's pissed off and she doesn't want to see you. So he says, I'm extremely confused and I don't know what to do with her. Well, the good thing about being confused is it means you're about to learn something. And so what you need to do is you need to go back and spend some time in the latter half of my book focusing on the communication techniques. And I'll put a link to some other articles that'll help you where I talk about exactly what you need to say to get a woman to open up to you. And the best thing that you can do going forward is, because I know you say here you want to rekindle things, but you got to be real and objective with yourself. It's your values and your goals are not similar to the way hers are. You're two different people in that particular respect. But if you want to rekindle things, just wait until the next time she calls you. When she does, invite her to dinner. Forget about boyfriend, girlfriend, getting back together, relationship talk, commitment, any of that bullshit. That stuff's not important. All you need to do is focus on inviting her to dinner and just create a fun-filled evening or what I like to say, romantic opportunity for sex to happen. That's it. Make sure she's doing 70-80% of the talking by asking questions and getting her to talk. That's the whole problem, is you haven't gotten her to talk and she's pissed off and she's shut down to you emotionally because you have hurt her, and you have to be strong enough to open her back up emotionally. But at the end of the day, you have a good chance of getting back together with her, but you still got the fact that she's a lazy person and you're more of a go-getter. You're a person that likes to take action. You like to be active and you like to do things. And so you're going to have to figure out if you can love her the way she is, being a lazy ass, or you got to grow a set of balls and say, you know what, this ain't working for me, and I'm going to do what it takes to work on myself and get to the place that I need to be so I can attract a woman whose values and whose goals are more aligned with my own. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you want to ask me, or there's a topic that you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs detailing your situation or your questions, and just give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email and I have to focus on my paying customers first. So just be patient. I will get back with you. And if you want to talk to me right away and get me to help you with a specific situation or challenge that you're having right now, click the Products tab at the top of your screen and follow the instructions for booking a paid phone coaching session with yours truly. And I will talk to you soon.